Hi, welcome to our channel of IGNOU Audiobooks, Indira Gandhi National Open University School of Translation Studies and Training, SOTST. Master of Arts, Translation Studies, Maths, English. First year, MTT 014 Translation and Indian Languages. Block 2 Modern Indian Languages and Mutual Translation. Unit 5 Introduction to Modern Indian Languages with reference to translation. 5.0 Objectives. After studying this unit, you will know the development of modern Indian languages and its main stages. Understand the cultural, social, political origins of the development of modern Indian languages. Will be able to know the threads that connect modern Indian languages and also know how Indian literature has played an important role in maintaining socio-cultural unity through them, and appreciate the contribution of original and translated literature in the development of modern Indian languages. 5.1 Introduction. India is a vast country of many languages. Except Tamil and Urdu, the development of almost all modern Indian languages is believed to be more or less around 1000 AD. The most important thing is that there is a continuous unity in these Indian languages. Broadly speaking, a set of pluralistic Indian cultures, geographical variations and histories are seen in these literatures. The historical tradition, cultural values and poetic sensibilities of the Indian society are homogeneous, and the nature of emotion and artistic design in the literary works composed by this is more or less the same. Multi-ethnicity, multiculturalism and multilingualism have not eroded the literary socio-cultural values and attitudes. Their interiority and collective consciousness has been created by the excellent values and literature of Indian culture. Perceptions and thoughts accumulated over millennia have built up their psyche and sense of self, so they are intrinsically linked. One reason for this is that their sources of origin are almost the same. For example, Sanskrit epics, mythologies, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad, Puranas, Pali, Prakrit, Apabhramsha, Jain Buddhist literature, Upanishads, Smritis and ancient Sanskrit poetry etc. have been the basic products of modern Indian languages. All Indian languages have their own independent importance and existence, despite being influenced by each other. Every one has their own strong specialty and charm, such as the Sangam literature of Tamil, Sandesh poetry of Malayalam, Pavare of Marathi, narratives of Gujarati, Mangal Kavya of Bengali, Badgeet of Assamese, Veergeet of Punjabi, Ghazal of Urdu and Ritikavya and romantic poetry of Hindi etc. While studying the development of modern Indian languages, we find that the early works of almost all Indian languages are translated. For example, Nanne's Mahabharat in Telugu, Nripatunga's Kaviraj Marga in Kannada and Ramacharitam, Ramakam in Malayalam are the first available works, which are basically translations. More or less the same thing applies to other languages as well. Most of the works are based on Vedic legends, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavata, Puranas, Upanishads, Puranic myths, legends, folk tales and fantasies. This is the reason why there are Kamba Ramayana in Tamil, Ranganatha Ramayana in Telugu, Pampa Ramayana in Kannada, Adhyatma Ramayana in Malayalam, Moropante's Ramkatha in Marathi, Kritivas Ramayana in Bengali, Madhava Kadliki Ramayana in Assamese, Vilinka Ramayana in Oriya and Tulsi Ramayana in Hindi, etc. are available to be seen and read. All these creations belong to Ramkatha. There is a variety of translation, narration, adaptations of Ramkatha, since the writer's own originality, contemporaneity, thought, worldview, linguistic identity, diversity and plurality etc. have been included in these creations. It is appropriate to call them recreation. The development of language and literature has been developing in complementary form to each other. 5.2 Development of modern Indian languages with reference to translation. Now here we will understand the development journey of different modern Indian languages. Tamil literature. The history of Tamil literature is about 25 centuries old. Like Sanskrit, it is a major Indian language of the oldest Dravidian family. It is counted among the most prosperous languages. The earliest available literature of Tamil is called Sangam literature, and its time is considered probably around 500 BC to 200 BC. Scholars have broadly divided this compilation into two parts. First, Akkam, in which There is a presentation of love and second, Puram, which describes the wars, rulers and their characters. These poets have made tremendous use of poetic conventions. These poems are full of description of nature, love and beauty. This tradition has been mentioned in the oldest available text, Tolakapiyam. Tirukkural is very famous among the books on ethics in the major works of the post-Sangam period. Works of Jan poets are compiled in Naldiyar. Reverend Drive. G.U. Pope has translated both of these books into English. Other works of this class are Nanmani Kadike, Sirupanchalam, Tirukadak, Iniyave, Narapatu etc. Shipadikaram, author Ilango Adigal, and Manimakhale, author Chattanar, epics have the same status as Ramayana and Mahabharat or Eliot and Odyssey. After the 6th century AD, a new era started in Tamil literature. Shava Nayanmars and Vavishnava Alvars initiated the Bhakti movement in India, which had a deep impact not only on Hindi literature but also on the literature of all the languages of India. This age saw the decline of the old kingdoms and the rise of the Pallava kings who patronized Sanskrit literature, leading to the translation of Sanskrit works into Tamil. Tiruganan Sambandhar, Tirunavakarasar, Sundar and Manikyavagar were Shava acharyas, who are called Nayanmars. Poij Alvars, Pudattalaya, Peyavas, Tirumalais Alvars, Tiruppan Alvars, Tondadapadi Alvars, Tirumange Alvars, Kulsekhra Alvars, Perialvars, and Als. Namalvas and Madhur Kavi Alvars were Vavishnava Alvar devotees. The compilation of their available verses was done by Natmuni. It is considered the foundation stone of the Bhakti movement. Nayanmars and Alvars opposed the feudal system of power. They paved the way for devotion in the general public. For the first time, they did the work of coordinating between karma and God. They strongly opposed the caste and caste system and challenged the monopoly of Brahmins on religion, God, and devotion and made devotion accessible to the lower classes and women. By erasing the relation of fear with God, they placed a new world of relation of love in front of the people. They emphasized on the reorganization of the society and put forward the idea of equality. These poets sang songs of devotion to Rama and Krishna, the incarnations of Vishnu. Jain and Buddhist poetry was also written during this period. Jivka Chintamani is an epic poem written by a Jain poet based on the Sanskrit text Kshetra Chudamani. Other important works include Valayapati, Nagamarikavyam and Merumatya Puranam by Vamanacharya. Kamban is the author of Tamil's immortal work, Kamba Ramayana. He has taken the story from Valmiki Ramayana, although its originality is intact. After 1200 AD, some of the Sanskrit Puranas were translated into Tamil and some were transformed. Kashikadam and Karma Puranam are translations of Sanskrit Puranas. Arakeshyar has translated Kalidasa's Raghuvansam into Tamil. Kanda Puranam is based on Shivshankar Sanhita of Sanskrit. Macha Puranam of Vadamalayesh Pillayan is an independent adaptation of Matsya Purana of Sanskrit. Meenakshi Sundaram Pillai's Tirunejikaram Puranam is a translation of the Sanskrit text. Renaissance and modernity started with the rising consciousness against feudalism, imperialism, colonialism, caste classism, socio-religious cultural stereotypes. Due to the clash of East and West, new literature and genres were born. Literature was enriched with new consciousness and intellectuality by abandoning traditional poetic subjects, conventions, verses and language. New forms of prose were born and expanded. In Tamil, the name of Subramanyam Bharati is taken as the bearer of modern consciousness. However, before him Ramalinga Ahadil and Gopal Krishna Bharati had shown the common people the way to freedom from feudal rule. Subramanyam Bharati has presented a poignant portrayal of economic exploitation, oppression, and the painful life of the oppressed. He gave voice to the national movement through his writings. He wrote the saga of Manya Mukti, presented the expression of anxious groups with epic manner. The basic tone of Bharatanadu, Suttirammu, Pirnaduhal is the proclamation of national independence and revolution. His important poetry collections are Kannampadu, Kannanpai Kuvilpahu, Panchali Shapat etc. Ilam Tevan has translated Rabindranath Tagore's work Geetanjali under the name Geetanjali Kirtankal. V.R.M. Chattiar, Arang Srinivas etc. have enriched Tamil Literature by translating many of Tagore's works. He has translated Jaishankar Prasad's famous Hindi work, Kamini, under the name Kamanamkal, Daughter of Cupid. Kalidasa's Megha Sandesham has been translated into Tamil. P. Sundaram Pillai has written the Tamil play Manunmeniyam. V.G. Suryanarayan Sasitraya has written Rupavati, Kalavati, Manavijayam on the lines of Shakespeare. His sonnet, Tanipaj, was translated by Dr. G. U. Pope in English. His work Tamil Moliyin Varalas is considered to be the best history of Tamil language. Vedachalam, a renowned critic of Tamil literature, has done a unique translation of Kalidasa's Abhigyana Shakuntalam. V.V.S. Iyer has translated Tirukkural into English. Desigavinayam Pillai is considered a master in translation of poems. The adaptation of Omar Khayyam and Arnold's Light of Asia is widely read and discussed. He has contributed a lot in strengthening the translation tradition by translating many English poems into Tamil. In the field of poetry, Achala Vikram Nanal, Somu, Balabharthi, Turan, Vanidas, K.M. Subramaniam, Krishnadasan, Trilok Sitaram, Bhaskaran, Karananadhi, K.V. Jagannathan, Aklam etc. are the prominent signatures. Vedanaika Pillai is considered to be the father of novel genre. The first Tamil novel is Pratap Mudalayar Charitram, which was written by him in 1879. B.R. Rajam Iyer's Kamla Balacharitram, Madhavas Padmavati Charitram, Naresh Pandit's Komalam Kumari Venkataramani's Ekshaka, Krishnamurthy's Tyagbhumi, Makutapti, Alios, Patirpan Kanav's fame is undeniable. During this period many foreign novels were translated and Bankim's works were also translated. A. Madhava is the founder of short stories. Rajgopalachari, Janaki Raman, Pichamurthy, Ramamritam, Nayan, Vindan, T.N. Kumaraswamy, Kumudini, Gurupriyama Mahadevan etc. are important storytellers. Telugu literature. Telugu started with translated literature. Nanni's Mahabharat is the original text of Telugu composed by Vyasa. It is an adaptation of Mahabharat. But Nanne could not complete it. After his death, Tikna and Arang completed it. Poet trio is credited with the initiation of Adigrant. Nanne strongly opposed Jainism and non-Vedic cultures by the creation of Mahabharat. Its purpose is to propagate and transmit Vedic religion. Other texts of Arang are Narsimha Purana and Harivansh. Nanne Chad's Kumarasambhava is a huge poetry book. Somnath written Panditravya Charitra is a storehouse of diverse knowledge, in which social practices, traditions, domestic problems, arts, crafts and music have been introduced with the names of ragas and talas. Ramakavya has been more popular in Telugu than elsewhere. There are 150 to 200 poetic compositions and more prose compositions based on Ramayana in Telugu. The oldest Ramayana of Telugu is famous by the name Ranganath Ramayana. Its creator is Gon Buddha Reddy. Bhaskar Ramayana has been composed by different authors. Therefore its language and style are also different. Bhaskar's composition, Aranyakand, is the best. Bhaskar Ramayan is a classic work. Maran Mantri has done the Telugu adaptation of Markandeya Purana. Poet Nachand Somna has adapted the Harivamsa Purana as Uttar Harivasam. Srinath happened to be at the time of translation of Puranas, so he also translated Puranas. Bhimeshwar Puranam, Kshikadam, Haravilasma and Neshadya are his important works. Shringar Neshadyam is one of the important Panchamkavyas of Telugu. Srinath's Kridabhiramam and Palnathi Viracharitram are also excellent creations. Shiva devotee Potana has translated the Sanskrit Bhagavata into Telugu. The Prabandha Yuga is considered to be the golden age in medieval Telugu literature. Prabandha Kavya begins with Krishna Devaraya, the emperor of Vijayanagar and his court poets. No composition of Krishnadev Raya is now available, but a Lasni Pehnas, Manuwari, is included in the Panchamkavyas. Among the 8 giants, it is based on a legend in the Markandeya Purana. Ramabhadra's Ramamudayam is a poem related to Ram Bhakti. Pingali Surana is one of the important poets of Telugu. His works are Kalapurnode and Prabhavati Pradyumnam. The stories from Ramayana and Mahabharata are described in these. Matamurthy's creations are Vasucharitra and Harichandra. Nalopakhyanam Among Telugu poetesses, Molamba's name is taken with respect. She was an ardent worshipper of Rama. Ramadasa wrote Muktak poetry under the name Diksharthi Shatik. In Andhra Pradesh, the stream of devotion that flowed, both Ram and Krishna were accepted. In the late medieval period, the stream of Shranga flowed and poets like Kshatriya took it to a height. Gurjati Na Singh, Tenali Ramkrishna Bhattamurti, Nandi Timana etc. have also done Shringarik compositions. Muddapalani has written a Shringara Pradhan Kavya named Radhika Swatnam. Chemuka's Vijayvilasasu is also a creation of this category. In Sarandhar Charitram, the author has described erotic love makeup. In modern times, Veerasalingam Puttanu took important initiatives towards social reform through his works. His goal was social reform. He was doing this work at the same time as Rajaram Mohan Roy, Bharatendu etc. were doing. By writing national cultural poems, poets like Veereshlingam, Vaddi, Subbarao, Vasudeva Shastri, Shripad Krishnamurti Vishwanath Satyanarayan linked their creative work with the consciousness of Renaissance and freedom. Jayanti Ramaya also translated Valmiki Ramayana. Krishnamurti translated the Ramayana and the Bhagavata. Satyanarayan widened the literary diameter of Telugu by composing excellent poems like Shringarvithi. Telugu School, Shashitam. New expressions have been infused in Rayaprolu Subbarao's compositions like Lalita and Narakankan. He also translated the poems of Omar Khayyam under the name Madhukalasham. Some people consider Venkataral Pantulu's Mahashwet, 1987, K. Narbar Gopala Krishnam Setti's Rangaraju Charitra, and Veerasalingam Patlu's Rajashekhara Charitra, the first novels in Telugu. Written by P. Ananthacharya, in 1892 AD. The novel, Manjuvani Vijayam, is a love story. Ramachandra's Dharmavati Vilasma and Lakshmi Sundaram are famous among the novelists of the 19th century. The novel, Mapatti, by Unnav Lakshminarayan is a symbol of India. It can be called the best novel of Gandhi era. Vishwanath Satyanarayana and Yapiraju are also famous novelists in Telugu. The credit for starting the story writing goes to Gurujan Gapparao, but the credit for giving it height goes to Chinta Dixitulu, Subrahmanyam Sastri, Ramkrishna Sastri, Sompajulu Ramarao, Jamdagni Sharma, Beena Devi, etc. are important storytellers of Telugu. As far as translation is concerned, along with the development of prose in the modern era, there is also a long tradition of translation. Translation from Sanskrit, Bengali, English, Marathi, Urdu and other languages to Telugu and from Telugu to these languages started. It is not possible to mention everything here, but it can be said that all the works of Rabindranath Tagore, Sarat Chandra and Dwijendra Lal Rai were translated. English works of Shakespeare, Bernard Shaw, Ibsen, Tolstoy and Gorky from Russia, Romain Rolland, Anatoly of France etc. were translated. The compositions of Premchand, Jaishankar Prasad, Jainendra Kumar, Rahul Sankrityan, Yashpal, Bhagwati Charan Verma, Alachand Joshi, Ashk, etc. were translated from Hindi. Telugu works like Ruparam Devi, Narayan Rao, Andhra Sadhik Charitra, Kanyashamu etc. were translated into Hindi. Kannada literature. No written literature of Kannada is found before the 9th century AD. The first available work is The Kavirajamarga composed by Nripatunga, which is its poetry and poetics. Vadaradhane, written by Shivkotyacharya in the form of prose, is considered to be the first work. Pampakal, 950-1150 AD, is called the golden age of Kannada literature. Pampa, Ponna and Ratna are the gem poets of this period. The Jan classic begins with the Pampa itself. It is from here that literary artistry and nobility also enter. These poets have written religious poetry and secular poetry related to Jainism. In the form of religious poetry, narratives of Tirthankaras or great men have been composed, and in the form of cosmic poetry, the stories of mythological poems related to Vedic religion have been depicted. Two important works of Pampa are Adi Purana and Vikramarjuna Vijayam, Pampa Bharat. While Brahman rites have found a place in India, Jain religious beliefs in Adi Purana have been proved to be momentary in this. Ponna's Shantipuran is a great poetic work. In this, Dharma has been represented through the Charitmala of the 16th Tirthankara. Ratna has written a powerful play named Ajit Purana. Gadayudham. The Chalukya king Satyashray is identified with Bhima of the Mahabharata in Gadayudham, and the life story of the second Tirthankara is narrated in the Ajit Purana. The Mallinath Purana, written by Nagachandra, is on the 19th Tirthankara, while Ramchandracharitpurn shows that Rama had taken Jan initiation and later attained Nirvana. In other words, the Jan version of Rama is available in this book. Charit Akhyam of 24 Tirthankaras of Jainism is present in Chavud's Chavundaraya Purana. Other authors of this era include Nagvam, Chandobuddhi, Koshiraj, Shabda Manidarpan, Nemi Chandra, Leelavati, Neminath Purana, Rudrabhatta, Jagannath Vijay, etc. In this era, these poets took Kannada language and literature to the highest peak. Virashaivism was revived by Basaveshwara in the 12th century. It was a social and religious movement. Basaveshwara organized the countrymen against the foreign invaders and worked to instill self-respect among the people. Basaveshwara was a poet, thinker and social reformer of high order. In those days, Vachan style emerged. There were songs sung in it. Through this, a scathing attack was made on the social conventions. Devara Sibhatia is the first speaker. Mahadevi Amma, Siddharam, Akhandvik etc. are important saint poets. Honnama has the privilege of being the first poetess of Kannada. These poets strengthened the concept of sublime guru and paved the way for human liberation. Vaishnavism was propagated by Ramanujacharya and Madhvacharya through devotion to Rama and Krishna respectively. Rudrabhat, Narhari Tirath, Sripadra, Purandardas, Vadiraj, Kankadas, Vijayadas, Giriyamma etc. writers spread Vaishnavism widely. Rudrabhat wrote Jagannath Vijay Chapukavya, based on Vishnu Puran, Nagnaya and Tippana translated Mahabharat in Kannada. There is a state of silence in the Kannada literary world after the 17th century. The state century begins at a rapid pace. Many ideas of literature emerge at the same time. Novel, story, diary, elegy, biography, autobiography, essay, lyric poetry are seen. The important thing is that there is a clear influence of Western poets writers, Shakespeare, Milton, Scott, Austen, Macaulay, Dickens, Goldsmith, Sheridan, Ibsen etc. on them. In the poems of D. B. Gundappa, Masti Venkatesh Iyengar, D. R. Bendre, Sally Anandkad, Mangeshwar etc., the vocal voice of national cultural sentiments is heard. Romanticism, the songs of liberation can be easily seen. It was in these days when M. Srikathaya presented the translation of poets like Wordsworth, Shelley etc. This translation was published under the name English Songs. Govind Pei translated the words of Omar Khayyam. Gudappa came out with collections of songs like Vasant, Kusumanjali, and Nivedana. The new poems of Mr. Nivas Iyengar, Rangnath, D. R. Bendre, etc. did the work of changing the era. M.S. Putana first wrote Madidino Maria in the form of a social novel. Apart from 3 original novels, Vasudevacharya Karur also translated Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet, Merchant of Venice. His famous novel is Indira. Later Shivram Karant and Krishnarao had a great influence in the field of novel writing. Karant wrote on social subjects. His Themanadudi is full of Dalit consciousness. Krishna Rao has also been a writer in favor of Dalits. Beer Ang's Anadi is a bold novel depicting sexual problems. Ramanujan's Malti Menu, U.R. Anantamurthy's Sanskar, Yashwant Chittal's Murudriganu, Shantinath Desai's Mukti are counted among the best novels. U.R. Anantamurthy and Desai's name is taken with equal respect in the field of story. Chittal has made a mark for himself as a rebel storyteller. Karur Vasudevacharya has been recognized as the first dramatist. Narayan Rao's Feminine Secret is famous. Girish Karnad, P. Lankesh, Chandrasekhar Patel, Chandrasekhar Kanwar etc. have gained prestige among Kannada dramatists. Girish Karnad's Tughlaq and Hayavadan have been translated not only in Indian languages but also in many foreign languages. R. R. Divakar translated M.R. Srinivasamurthy's play, Nagrik. Kuvempu's Shamshan Kurukshetra and Rektakshi were translated by Sudhakar and Hiranmay, and Prabhushankar's Angulimala and Ambapali, adapted by Rajeshwarayan. B.P. Chandrabai. B.V. Karant has translated Sri Rang's Kelu Janmejaya and Girish Karnad's Tughlaq. Malayalam literature. Malayalam is a branch of the ancient Tamil language, which separated from it around the 9th century. Literature creation in this started from 15th century. Early Malayalam literature originated in the form of folk songs. Bhadrakalipahu, Tiyapat, Puluvampahu etc. are important songs. Lohapadu means songs. From the heart to sing. Onpadu are sung on Onam. Farmers sing, Shipahu. The first poem in Malayalam is Ramacharitam by Ramveer Verma, probably composed in the 13th century. This heroic song is the creation of Shals. But this is the creation of the Tamil sect. In the medieval period, Kanchan Nambiar awakened the spirit of social rebellion by writing Pariyatulmul. He made a sharp satire on Samant and Prabhuvarg. Rama Panika composed the Krishna Ramayana. The prominent poets of Krishna Bhakti literature are Berushir Nambuthiri and Ayuchan Cherusheris. Krishnagatha is influenced by the Srimad Bhagavatam. He has made both Ram and Krishna the object of his poetry. Adhyatm Ramayan, Bhagwat, Harinam Kirtan Chitratn etc. are noteworthy compositions. In his work Mahabharat, Karunabhava, Gandhari Lamentation and Duryodhana Death have been made unforgettable. Writing of Champukavya started in Malayalam after the 14th century. Many have been written, of which Champu Ramayana is the best. In late medieval Malayalam poetry, the trend of adornment prevailed. Hindi translation of Tullal by ancient poet Nampiar has been done by Sadashivam Nayar. K. of Harinam Kirtanam was translated by K. N. Menon. Kutta Pillai translated Adhyatm Ramayana and A.S. Apyar translated the Mahabharat into Hindi. Valatal's Muktak compositions were also translated into Hindi. Sita Kavya also got many translations. Modern poets include Kerala Vam, Rajaram Vam. C.S. Subramaniam Patti's name is taken with respect. Among the writers of the 20th century, Kumar Ashan, Valtos and Ullur are at the pinnacle of fame. Ashan wrote poems against the social discrimination, casteism, economic exploitation etc. spread in the alcoholic society. He also praises the goodness, cultural achievements and character traits of the past. Gramvrikshitail Kail is his important poetry collection. His poem, Veena Puvu, created a stir after its publication. Valatol translated Valmiki Ramayana and composed the epic Chitrayogam. His Badhir, Vilapam, Bandhan Sthanav Anirudhan, Kilikochal etc. compositions are of independent importance. Umakeralam, Arunode, Taraharam, Kiranavali, Ratnamala, Tarangini, Amritdhara, Deepavali etc. are famous in Ullur's creations. Apart from these, Vishnu Narayan C. Namputieri, K. Cherian, Madhavan, Karunakirpa Satchidananda, Radha Krishnan etc. are notable poets. Despite linguistic difficulties and differences, the tradition of translation from Malayalam to Hindi has remained strong. Chandumnan's novel, Indulekha, has been forward-looking. The novels Sharad and Indulekha have been pillars of Chandumnan's fame. C.P. Raman Pillai has written novels like Martand Verma, Ramaraj Bahadur, Dharmraj etc. K.M. Panika is one of the all-rounded writers of India. He has made a strong presence in the field of drama, novel and poetry. Kerala Simham is his historical play. Parapupatta's novel, Anajik Narame, N. Pillai's plays, Pretlokam, Kaswet, and Bandi Ishwar have been popular in Malayalam literature. Padnam Pillai's famous play, Veluttampi Dalva, has been translated by Sudhanshu Chaturvedi. Bharti has translated Takashi's novels, Redashi, Tottiyute Makan, and Chemmin under the names Do Serdhan, Chunoti, and Machuvare, respectively. Muhammad Bashir's novel, Balya Kalashaki, has been translated by Bhattathiri under the title Shahzadi. Chandumnan's Indulekha was translated by B.A. Kesavanam Pothieri. Kerala Singham has been translated by Krishna Menon. Accomplished translators of Malayalam stories include Ravi Varm, C.R. Nanappa, K.J. John, N. Chandrasekaran Nair, P.G. Vasudev, Padmkumari Harshvardhan, Vishwanath Abbar etc. Bengali literature. The primary illustration of the history of Bangla literature is available in Charyapad. It is believed that they were composed around the 10th or 12th century of Christ. 47 songs are compiled in it and its Authors are Luipad, Kanupa, Bhusk etc. Buddhist Sahajya followers. Ramchandra Shukla has accepted them as Apabhramsha or Prakritbhas Hindi. The subject of these songs was the practice related to occult, Tantra and Yoga limited in a particular sect to attain nirvana. The importance of siddhas from the point of view of early Indian literature is also due to the fact that they presented works like Dohakosh and Charyap, which apart from Hindi, create a comprehensive architecture of early poetry in Bengali, Assamese and Odia. In Bengal, the discourse oral lyrical verses of the Natpathais are also found. Jadeva's Gita Govinda was composed in Sanskrit, but this poem has had a tremendous impact on Bengali literature. It is the foundational text of later Vaishnava poetry and the forerunner of Bengali Nitanatya. Kritivasa Ramayana is available in the 15th century, which is believed to be a translation of Valmiki Ramayana. Sri Krishna Vijay is considered to be the oldest arrangement of Bengali poetry. Its author is Maladhar Basu, and he has taken the story from Bhagavata and Vishnu Purana. Sri Krishna Kirtan, written by Bahu Chandidas, is a composition of the last days of the 15th century. In this he has presented Radha as Anindya Bangla Sundari. There are many anthologies of poems in Bengal attributed to Vidyapati, but it is clear that he had a deep and lasting influence on Bengali poetry. The emergence of Chaitanya was a turning point not only in the history of Bengali literature but also in the cultural history of that province. He had completely agitated the life of the province. Between the second half of the 16th century and the first half of the 18th century, there was no such literature which was not influenced by Chaitanya. The inspiration of his unusual personality led to the creation of a powerful literary sect and vast literature in Bengali. Innumerable songs were written influenced by his devotion, character and knowledge. Vrindavandas wrote the first Bengali biography in verse called Chaitanya Mangal. Krishnadas wrote Chaitanya Charitamrit in love verses. In this, he considered Radha and Krishna as incarnations involved in one body. Vijayagupta is the author of Mansa Mangal or Padma Purana. Narayan Dev, Ketek Das and Kshemanand, etc., are the authors of Mansa Mangal. Manikdatta is considered the first poet of Chandi Mangala. Mukundaraya Chakrabarti wrote the most powerful Chandi Mangal. He has satirized social evils in this. Mayur Bhatt is considered the first poet of Dharma Mangal poetry. The Vaishnava poets of Bangla created a new poetic method by mixing Bengali and Maithili, which is called Brajbali. Chaitanya's contemporary poets, Murari Gupta, Narhari Sarkar, Vasudev Ghosh etc., have composed important poems in this language. Cosmic love has been expressed in these Vaishnava verses. In the 17th century, Kashi Ramdas composed the Bangla Mahabharat. This composition had a deep impact on Bengali culture. Many compositions were done in Bengali on the basis of Bhagavad and Purana. After Maladhar Basu's Bhagavad translation, Madhav Acharya, Raghunath Pandit and Shyamdas etc. also presented its translation or adaptation. Alaol, the best poet of Arakan court, adapted Jaise's great love story Padmavat. Rameshwar Bhattacharya's Shiva Sankirtan, Bharat Chandra's Anand Mangal, Vidya Sundar Mansingh, Ramprasad Sen's Kalikirtan, etc. are important compositions in the 18th century. Modernity, intellectualism and Renaissance entered India through Bengali literature. Fort William College contributed significantly to the development of prose. Rajaram Mohan Roy established Brahmo Samaj. He took the support of prose to take the establishments of Brahmo Samaj to the people. The establishment of power and beauty in Bengali prose is seen from here. Maharishi Devendranath, Bhudev Mukherjee, Rajnarayan Basu, Tarashankar Tarkaratn etc. took prose to maturity. In the field of poetry, the names of Ishwar Chand Gupta, Ranglal Banerjee and Madhusudan Datta are taken with respect. Madhusudan Datta created great poetry like Tilotm Sambhava, Meghnad Vad, Virangna. Hemchandra awakened patriotism by writing Bharat Sangeet, Bharat Vilap, Bharat Bhiksha. Krishnachandra Majumdar, Baldev Padit Rak Krishna Mukhopadhyay, Nandlal Ghosh etc. are prominent among the Renaissance poets. Romantic poetry in Bengal emerged with the sentiments, aesthetic consciousness etc. of Bhasa, Kalidas, Chandidas, Jaydev etc. It is full of romantic feelings, subtlety, patriotism, nature depiction. Bihari Lal, Chakrabarti, Surendranath Majumdar, Dvijendranath Tagore, Debendranath Sen, Dvijendranath Rai and Rabindranath Tagore etc. took the poetry land to the top. Rabindranath was a wonderful admirer of the beauty of nature. Sandhya Sangeet, Chhavi Ogan, Mansi, Vasundhara, Urvashi, Kanika, Kahini. Geetanjali, Geetmalya, Balka, Patalka Purvi, Mahuya, Vichitra, Vitika, Newborn and Geetali etc. are popular poetry collections. The songs, music, symbols, images etc. are all unique and fresh in them. It is not possible to analyze the breadth and depth of his poetry here. All his works have been translated not only in Indian languages but also in other languages of the world. Hindi writers have done more than a dozen after only Geetanjali. Translation of the novels, Gora, and Ghare-Be has also been presented. Novels like Rajarshi, Aankh Ki Kirkiri, Nok Doobi, etc. are also famous. Bankim Chandra's novels, Durgeshandini, Anand Mat, Raj Singh, Vishwriksha, etc. have also been translated. Bankim achieved unprecedented success in the field of novels. Even the general readers of Hindi consider him a writer of Hindi. Sharat Chandra Chattopadhyay, Vibhutibhushan Chandopadhyay, Tarashankar Bandyopadhyay, Shiljanand Mukherjee and Buddhadev Basu are important signatures of the novel world. Tarashankar's Gandevta translation is multifaceted. Sharat's novels have also been translated into almost all languages. Shrikant, Charitraheen, Pachardabi, Shesh Prashn, etc. are famous novels. Deenbandhu Mitra's play, Neel Darpan, has been translated by Nemi Chandra Jain. Shakespeare's plays have been translated into Bengali by Girish Chandra Ghosh. All the important works of English have been translated into Bangla, and all the important writers and works of Bangla have been translated into Hindi. Odia literature. Like Bangla, the germination of Odia language and literature is visible in Charyageet. After that, Shishuveda, Saptang, is available as the first Odia poetry. Both the works are composed by The. Nathpandis. Sarladas is called Vyas of Odia. In the 15th century, he composed the Mahabharat. Vilinka Ramayana and Chandipurana are his two other important works. The death of Mahiravana by Sita is shown in Vilinka Purana. Heroines have been given importance in Chandipuran. Among the successors of Sarladas, Arjun Das compose, Kalpalata, Shishu Shankar compose, Ushabhilasha, and Makan Das compose, Keshav Koiti, Balram Das, Jagannath Das, Jant Das, Yashwant Das, and Achyut Das compose religious literature in the Panchashakha era of Odia literature. Balaram Das composed the first Odia Ramayana. It became as popular as the Mahabharata of Sarladas. Achyutananda composed Shunya Sanhita and Harivansh. Jagannath Das composed Bhagwat on the lines of Sanskrit Bhagwat, which still controls the religious, cultural, moral life of Odia people. It became the support of public education. It is famous by the name of Bible of Odia people. The prestige of Vaishnavism was done through these authors and compositions. Among the later authors, the fame of Loknath Vidyadhars, Niladri Mahotsav, Bhupati Pandits, Prem Panchamrit, Dinkrishndas's Raza, Vinod, and Raskalol is unquestionable. Upendrabhaj wrote famous works like Lavanyavati and Kotibrahman Sundri. Vishwanath Khutia took Ramkavya forward by writing Geeti Ramayana, and Keshav Patnaik wrote Vagvilas. Brajnath Bachina wrote Veerkavya. Samatram, Abka Vilas, is his best creation. Popular poet Bhaktcharan has described Jagannath devotion in a unique way in Manbod Chautisa. Krishna Singh's Mahabharat is a great work of this period. Gopal's Gitavali is another shining glory of Oriya Geeti literature. It is believed that in 1873, Kavitavali of Radhanath and Madhusudan was published as Naveen Kavita. Radhanath wrote a poem named Chitaka Sarovar. Ramshankar wrote the first novel, Saudamini. Fakir Mohan Senapati's novels, Cheh Maan Aat Gunth, Bhamu Lichma, and Preshchit, and his short stories are among the most popular works. He has engraved the multicolored colors of the immediate life. In his creations, Fakir Mohan translated both the Ramayana and the Mahabharata into Odia. His poetic influence in Odia proved to be far-reaching. Radhanath Rai has translated some passages from Tulsi's Ramacharitmanas. Jagbandhu Mahapatra has also translated Manas. Swapneshwar Das translated Jaishankar Prasad's Kamaini. Srinivas Udgata translated Bhagwati Charan Varma's Chitralekha. Hajari Prasad Dwivedi's Vanbhata Ki Atmakatha. Naval Kishore Das translated Vaishali Ki Nagar Vadhu and Vayam Rikshama by Chatursan Shastri. Fakir Mohan Senapati's Lakshma and Chehman Art Guth have been translated from Oriya into Hindi. Radhakrishna Rai's Chilik etc. have also been translated. Assamese literature. The beginning of Assamese literature is also considered to be from Charyapad like Bengali and Odia. The very first composition is Hem Saraswati's Pralhad Charit. It is based on an episode in the Vamana Purana. Hem Saraswati wrote Hargauri Samvad on the basis of many Puranas. Madhav Kandali of the 14th century gave momentum to Assamese literature by converting Ramayana. Harihar Vipra composed the poetry Lekkushyudh and Babrohna Buddha. Kabiratna had translated some part of Jayadravatvada Anuparva under Drona power of Mahabharat into Assamese. Shankardev tried to bring renaissance in the country through the Nava Vaishnava movement. He composed Bangeets. It also includes Namaghosha and Hazari Ghosha of his disciple Madhavdev. In these Vaishnava verses, there is an atmosphere of self-request, repentance, humility and self-realization, which is explained by the saints. Shankardev was against the rigidity of caste and creed. He worked towards social reform and religious reform. Krishna pastimes have found a place in Shankardev's Bhakti Ratnakar. Devotion to Krishna promoted through plays like Madhavdev Vargeet, Chaudhara, Pimpra. Gachuva etc. wrote poems of affection like Surdas. Namaghosha is his magnum opus. His contemporary Anantikadali wrote a love poem called Kumaharana. Ram Saraswati composed the satirical poem Bhimcharitra. In the beginning of the 17th century, poets like Damodar Das, Gopinath Lakshminath, etc. made adaptations of various sections of the Mahabharat. Shrikant Suryavipra presented the Assamese translation of Ramcharitmanas by Tulsi. Govind Mitra and Ratnakar Mitra translated the Bhagavad Gita. Bhavanand Mishra and Vidyachandra translated Harivansh. The first samples of Assamese prose are found in the plays of Sankardev and Madhavdev. Bhattadev translated Bhagvatapurn and Bhagavad Gita into verse. Gopal Chandra Dwij translated Sankardeva's work, Bhakti Ratnakar, into prose. Raghunath Mahant's Katharamayan is also composed in prose. He established the standard of Assamese language by creating grammar and dictionary. Through Bahire, Ranch Bita Kova Bhaturi, and Kaniyar Kirtan, he took a high initiative towards eradicating social evils. After Ramakant Chaudhary, Bholanath Das, Chandrakumar Agrawal, Lakshminath Bejbarua, Hemchand Goswami and Padmanath Gohai Barwa created a wealth of 20th century Assamese literature. Hindi literature. There has been a dispute among historians about who should be considered the first poet of Hindi and when it started. Despite diversity and controversy in views, Sarhapa has been accepted as the first poet of Hindi. He is called the originator of Sahajiyan. As such, Ramchandra Shukla had rejected the literature of Siddhas, Naths and Jains as communal and religious discourse. But later historians denied this opinion and considered it as an essential category of literature. The tradition of Siddhas has survived in Hindi for many days. He has created poetry in Apabhramsha mixed Magahi. Their composition time is believed to be from the 8th century to the first half of the 13th century of Vikram. Apart from Sarhapa, Shavarpa, Bhusukupa, Luipa, Virupa, Dombia, Kanhapa etc. are accomplished poets. Their number is said to be 84. The subject matter of all these compositions is based on the principles of the Vajrayan school, in which the manifestation of nature is considered the ultimate goal of life. Siddhas have described various states of selflessness, Kya Yoga, Sahaj, Shunya and Samadhi. He has strongly attacked the Varnashram system. He did not like the artificiality, suffocation and orthodoxy of social and religious life. A sharp attack is seen on him. These are available in the form of hymns against the knowledge of scriptures.
The founders of Nathpanth are Mitsyendranath and Gorakhnath. Among the important works of Gorakhnath are Siddha Siddhanta Padhati, Goraksha Sahitha, Amrashasashanam etc. Gorakhnath introduced Hatha Yoga regarding Patanjali's yoga and insisted on celibacy, restraint of speech, physical, mental purity and renunciation of flesh and blood. He also strongly attacked the rituals and varnashram of Brahmins. The second spiritual thinking stream of this period is that of Jains. In addition to the biography of the Tirthankaras of Jainism, he has written essays based on Jain Ramayana and Mahabharata. Swayambhu wrote Palmkaraya, Ramayana. Ritharami wrote a major book named Chariyu. Pushpadana composed Mahapurana. Apart from Ramkavya, these two poets also wrote Krishnakavya, Harivansh Purana. Devson, Daval, Donpal, Hemchandra, Ram Singh etc. are famous among the important poets of this period. Apart from this, Rulvalov wrote a Kavi and Sandesh Razakov. Abdul Rahman are also seen in cosmic ornamental poetry. The beginning of Hindi literature is an eye-opener in the era of national decentralization politically. At that time the royal powers were scattered, the tradition of Raso poetry was strong. The basic tendency of these poems was to present an exaggerated picture of the glory and luxury of the lords and kings. These poems are full of exaggerated war and makeup. In ancient times Narpati Nal's Bisaldev Raso, Chandbarti's Prithviraj Raso Jagnak's Parmal Raso, Akhand, Bhat Kedar's Jayaprakash, Madhukar, Kavi's Jayamayank Jas Chandrika, Dalpati Vijay's Kuman Raso, Nal Singh's Vihayapala Raso and Vidyapati's Kirtilata, Kirtipataka and Padavali are famous works. Vidyapati's Padavali is full of unique beauty, cosmic, sensuous beauty. Krishnakakya, Amir Khusro, 1253-1325, is considered as first poet of Kati Boli. He has written Geet, Ghazal, Kamakarayan, Pahali, Sukna etc. Khusro was a poet who wrote in both Hindi and Urdu styles. A glimpse of the composite culture of Indian music, language, society, history is seen in his works. In this period, expansion of mixed Hindi, Magahi, Kati Boli is seen. The basis of Bhakti literature is the Bhakti movement. It also has an ideological basis. The specialty of the Bhakti movement is that it is not the subject of religious practice but of emotion. Regarding the reasons for its rise, Grierson said that it was due to contact with Christianity. Ramchandra Shukla considered it as a reaction of invasion of Islam, while Hazari Prasad Dwivedi considered it as a natural development of Indian concern. This movement and literature is full of great ideals of people-oriented and human compassion. Two streams of devotion flowed, Nirgandhara and Sagandhara. Two branches of Nirgan Kavyadhara are Gayanashri and Premasri. The knowledgeable stream is represented by Kabir, Radas, Dajudayal, Sundardas, Rajab etc. The collection of Kabir's speech is called Bijak. It has three parts, Ramini, Sabad, and Saki. Kabir gave impetus to the flow of poetry and folk language, in the Premashri poetry stream that furthered the principles of Sufism. Chitravali etc. have an important role. With these compositions, the development and sophistication of Awadhi went on. The poets of Saguna Kavyadhara composed poetry on the basis of Ramkatha and Krishnakatha. Tulsidas, one of the best poets of the Hindi world, took the Ramkavya tradition to its peak by writing Ramcharitmanas, Geetavali, Kavitavali, Vinay Patrika, Ramlala Nachu, Bharvi Ramayana etc. He used both Awadhi and Braj Bhasha. He wrote with great authority on languages and played an important role in the all-round development of the language. Tulsi's Ramcharitmanas was translated into almost all the languages of India. Later, Agraitas and Shavdas carried forward the tradition of Ramkavya. During this period, Hridayaram studied Sanskrit poetry. Hanuman Attak was translated as Bhasha. Hanumanattak. The highest singer of Krishna poetry is poet Sotst. Poets like Nandas, Krishnadas, Mirabai, Rahim, Raskan etc. furthered the poetry tradition and gave a new height to Braj Bhasha. Through this medium, these poets gave the form of an all-India socio-cultural transformational movement. During Ridikal, poets translated poetic texts written in Sanskrit on a large scale. The main goal of the poets was the description of rasa, ornamentation and erotism. It does not mean that they did not write original texts or that there is lack of originality in poetic texts. Kshavdas, Senapati, Bahari, Bikaridas, Dev, Bhushan, Matiram, Padmakar, Gananand, Alam, Buddha, Thakur, Guru Gobind Singh etc. are the main poets of Ridikal. During this period, about 300 poets were creating poetry in Braj Bhasha. The history of modern poetry is too rich to be mentioned here. Urdu literature. The spread of Muslims in India in the medieval period was an incident of wide linguistic importance. Along with them came a new religion, a new philosophy of life and a new culture. At the root of Urdu was the Kadibali, which was spoken around Delhi. Western Hindi itself prepared the basis of Urdu. In colloquial language it was called Hindi, Rikta, Hindustani or Hindvi. In short, Urdu developed from Shorsanai Prakrit. It is difficult to say who was the initial creator of Urdu. Some people take the name of Amir Khusro as the initial poet, while some Valis, Gasudraj, Shah Miranji, Burhanuddin Janam, and Shamanadnata, Ruzalmi, Nusrati, Hashimi, Savasi, Mullav Jahi, Wali, Bari, Siraj etc. are the initial writers of Urdu. Vali's works have been translated into languages other than Hindi. Sauda, Mir Taqi Mir, Khwaja Mir, Dard, Mir Hassan, Aisha, Jurat, Nazir Akbar Abadi, Mirza Ghalib, Jauq etc. created great poetry in Urdu and not only made it popular but also gave it unmatched height. The compositions of almost all these poets have been translated in Hindi, English and other languages as well. Marathi literature. Linguists have considered the relation of Marathi to Maharashtrian Prakrit and Maharashtrian Apabhramsha. Its earliest mention as a regional dialect or language comes in the 8th century text Kuvalayamala. But the first poet of Marathi is Mukund Raj, 1128-1198, whose main book is Vivek Sindhu. He was a Goric Panthi. His other books are Pawan Vijay, Paramamrit, Panchikaran etc. Chakradhar was the originator of the great personality. The writers of this sect have written immense literature in prose and poetry. His followers worshipped Sri Krishna, Dattatreya, and Chakragar. His holy book is Lila Charitra, which is written by Mahabharata. Saint Gyaneshwar is considered the father and creator of Marathi literature. Gyaneshwari and Amritanubhav are his famous works. It is considered like a bright gem in the literary world. He explained Srimad Bhagavad in simple language and made Shudras, women and semi-educated people, aware. He was also a progenitor of the Warkari sect. Other poets of this sect are Nivritanath, Muktabai, Namdev, Eknath, Tukaram etc. People of this opinion only imagine Krishna. There is no place for Radha and the Gopas. These poets rebelled against social conventions. Eknath took a revolutionary initiative in the direction of reforming the society by writing Eknati Bhagwat. He wrote Rukmini Swayamvar Ramayana, Prahlad Charit in simple language on the basis of Bhagwat, erasing the difference between Nirgun and Sagan, stressed the praise of God and propagated devotion. Ramdas is counted among the great poets of Marathi. Daspod, Karanashtak, Shodashtak, Laguramayana etc. are his important compositions. Gujarati literature. The first use of the word Gujarati in the sense of language is first found in Premanand's Dasham Skand. The first example of Gujarati language is found in Shalabhadra Suri's composition Paradishwar Bahubali Ras. However, people of all the three languages, Hindi, Gujarati and Rajasthani, consider it as the first poem of their language. Apabhramsha is written in mixed Gujarati by Padma Suri, Stalabhadra Phagu, Rajaskara, Nemanith Phagu, Vinayakandra, Nemanith Chatushpadika, etc. In the medieval period, Gujarati literature was influenced by Vaishnava devotion. The poets of this era emphasized on devotion to Krishna only. Apart from this, religious narratives were also written. The narratives of the Sanskrit Ramayana, Mahabharata and Puranas were versified. Gujarati poet Narsingh Mehta is famous across the country. His line Vaishnav Jan to Tene Kahiye Jo Pir Parai Jane Re was included in his prayer meeting by Gandhiji and made the world famous. His fame is also due to making the Upanishadic philosophical poetry accessible to the common people in simple language. The basis of his fame are the books Harmala, Samalshas Ka Viva, Shringarmala, Rasahasrapati, Chaturi, Sudama Charit, Dan Lila etc. Balan also wrote Shiv Puran, Markandeya Puran, Srimad Bhagwat Puran, Ramayana etc. and gave momentum to this language and literature by writing texts in Gujarati. Among his important works are Nalakayan, Dashemskand and Rambalakarit. Padmanabh wrote Kanad de Prabandh, Mandan wrote Prabodh Badazi, Ramayana and Rukmagna Nakar wrote Shiv Viva, Puvakayan etc. and also translated Mahabharata and Ramayana. Arva wrote important works like Arvai Gita, Chitravikara Samvad Panchikaran, Anubhav Bindu, Kaivalaya Gita. Premanand is counted among the popular writers of Gujarati. He earned fame by writing Sudamakaritra, Hundi Shrad, Okaharan, Chandrahasakayan, Nalakayan etc. Shalam Bhatt wrote Nanda Badazi, Singasan Badazi, Sudabha Hoteri on the basis of folk tales. Balab Muatto composed Garba on the marriage of mismatch. Dayaram, Krishnabai, Purabai, Muktanand, Brahmanand, Devanand etc. were important poets of this medieval period. Punjabi literature. Punjabi is a modified form of Apabhramsha, in which words from Kashmiri, Gujarati, Sindhi, Marathi as well as Turkish and Persian were mixed. Later the influence of Landa increased in it. Sheikh Farid was the first poet to write in Punjabi. The Sufi poets of Punjabi include Waris Shah, Bulla Shah, and C. Harfi, etc. Their translated works are also available in Hindi. The compositions of Nanak, Angad, Amardas, Ramdas, Arjun, Teg Bahadur etc. are preserved in Guru Granth Sahib. Nanak is a well-known saint poet of Punjabi. His famous book is Jap Sahib. He took his message to the masses. Guru Gobind Singh composed in all three languages, Braj Bhasha, Persian, and Punjabi. His Dasam Granth is considered a holy creation. He was a brave warrior. His creations are a combination of valor and devotion. Kashmiri and Sindhi literature. The most famous name in Kashmiri literature is that of Lala Veda. Sheikh Nuruddin is one of the popular poets of Kashmiri literature. Noornayam and Rishi Naam are his famous collections. He found popularity in proverbs and sayings. Habakatun, Akmaluddin Kamil, Mahmud Ghami etc. have contributed significantly to Kashmiri literature. Ghami adapted the works of Persian Jami, Nizami and other authors into Kashmiri language. His famous Masnavis include Laila Majnu, Yusuf Julika, Shireen Khusro etc. Sindhi has a more intimate relationship with Prakrit language. It also has a lot of Arabic and Persian words. Shah Abdul Latif was the first well-known poet of Sindhi literature. Rizalo is his famous work. Sami adapted and popularized Vedic knowledge in Sindhi. 5.8 Summary translated literature has played a major role in the development of modern Indian languages. We have seen during text study and discussion that in the development of modern Indian languages, Most of the compositions have stood on the basis of Ramayana, Mahabharata, Bhagavad, Puranas, Upanishads, mythological history, folklores and fantasies. In more or less all the modern Indian languages, these literatures were translated, adapted, interpreted in abundance. Mythological historical characters like Ram, Krishna, Shiva, Buddha, Mahavir etc. were deeply rooted in the Indian public mind. Their devotion and folklore were prevalent all over India. This glorious tradition continued to flow uninterruptedly in all modern Indian languages through Sanskrit, Pali, Prakrit, Apabhramsha literature. Obviously, these stories entered the literature after being translated, that's why they can be seen at the mouth of every Indian language first of all in the form of translation. This literature expressing public sentiments also became the basis of linguistic development. These literary works had an important contribution in the rise of modern Indian languages, on the basis of which the rise of modern Indian languages is considered. In this unit, we have also read that not only did languages emerge through the translation of these literatures, but the development of languages also continues through translation over time. In the next unit, we will discuss in detail the points of similarity and dissimilarity between these Indian languages. Thank you for listening. We will be back with the next chapter.